What's up, Mastering Rod Building community? Coming to you live from the 2025 New Jersey Saltwater Fishing Expo, and I'm delighted to be joined by Jenni Ackerman. And if you don't know Jenni, it means you don't read the Fisherman Magazine, which is an awesome source. But she also did this remarkable article about her first rod, and it may be the best first rod build I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, thank you.
Jenni, how are you? Welcome.
I'm good.
Yeah, so I heard this story. I heard you were going to be building this rod, and then I saw it, and I was like, this can't possibly be your first rod, but it was, right? So she wrote a big article for the Fisherman Magazine. Tell everybody a little bit about the Fisherman.
So the Fisherman is the #1 fishing authority here. We have the New England Magazine, the Long Island, the New York metro area, and then New Jersey, Delaware Bay. So we cover the whole northern, eastern coast with saltwater, freshwater, everything.
Yeah. And it's not only print, it's available online
digital too.
Right?
Yeah, you get a weekly digital for the months of the spring and the summer and a little bit into the winter. So you get content every week.
That's awesome. And so this particular issue that we're talking about, and they have a ton of great content, is the March 2025 issue 3, volume 53, custom art and rewards. So talk to me about this process of how you set out to build your first custom rod, which is unbelievable, by the way.
Thank you. So working at Grumpy's Tackle, you have access to all these different rod building materials with Bobby, and Bobby taught me.
He's the best.
And we picked out a blank, and I was like, I want one that I can catch fluke with, blackfish, I love my blackfish, and then even some like smaller stripers.
Yeah.
And
so this is a St. Croix
Legend
SC5
Extreme.
Legend Extreme blank.
Discontinued, unfortunately, but it's an excellent blank. It's one of the best. I love it.
Gorgeous blue color.
Yeah, you can guess my favorite color.
Yeah, you got a custom painted skeleton seat.
Yes,
You got custom wind grips.
Oh yeah.
You guys have to see this thread work. She did a very, is that a shooting star? It is an elaborate 2-axis, completely closed and shaded decorative thread wrap. She did a beautiful job, beautiful guide wraps. She's got a KL train. It's like really, really well done. So how did you get into building in the first place? You working at the shop, you have access to the components.
Seeing everything Bobby did, I was like, I want to build my first rod, and he's really good with like planting the seed and getting you started. He's like the devil's advocate, because once you get into it, you can't stop. And so far I built 11 rods, but I did,
but this was the first one.
This was the first one that started it all. So.
How long did it take you to build this one?
So I did it like after hours working, so maybe like 3 weeks, I feel like. But there was a part where like Bobby left me on my own to do the decorative wrap. I wrote down every step on a piece of paper, and I zoomed through it on my own. And he came in, he's like, oh my God, you did it all. I'm like, yeah.
We're gonna post some close-ups of this thread wrap and see some of the details. The finish work is really, really good. So you built 10 more since this.
I made a koi fish rod. It looks like my koi in my backyard.
Oh, that's awesome.
I made some nice surf rods. I worked with like paracord and making like the knots and everything on some other ones. So I tried to do like a ton with this stuff.
I tell people all the time, the best rod builders are women, and I've taught a lot of people to build, and the female builders are often the fastest learners. They're patient, they have a great eye for detail, sometimes they're already crafty, and I don't know if it's getting their nails painted or what, but they understand what we're going for with like a good final finish code. I see tons of people's first rods. This, I think, maybe the best first rod I've ever seen in my life. It's very impressive. And you've taken it fishing, it works.
It does work, it does catch fish, it does work,
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So what would you tell any other lady anglers or women that are thinking about, girls thinking about getting into rod building? Like, what have you learned? What would you tell them to get started?
I would say just to do it. You have your bragging rights to say, 1, you fish it, and then 2, you're catching fish on a rod you built. So that reward, like the title of my article is creating art and its reward. That reward is the fish you catch on your rod, because you take a picture, like the picture of me with the fluke, I'm holding that big fluke in front of me, but my rod is right there. That was a bigger one. That was like that was like an 8-pounder too. So it's like, I don't even care about the size of the fish, I'm just happy to catch on my rod that I built. So it's that reward.
You try to tell people, like, I've always found that the time I spend at the bench, it's like being close to fishing even when you can't fish, right? And then it's hard to explain like the pride you get and the extra engagement, kind of joy you get out of catching on something you built. You
Exactly.
know, that you took through like the design process, selecting the blanks, selecting the components, going all the way through to building it. It's just so rewarding, and especially when they turn out like this. This is truly a beautiful rod.
Thank you.
This would have been very
you.
competitive at the ICRVE rod competition this year. And
It
I
was
the
there a
judge at
couple
that
years ago.
competition. Well, it would have done very well this year. So
We'll bring it back.
Yeah,
well,
that's
next year we'll
awesome.
bring it back.
Well, so nice to meet you.
Pleasure,
and well
Bill.
done, and thank you so much. And thanks for everything the Fisherman does.
Yes.
If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. Check out Grumpy's Tackle. Try to avoid Grumpy. Try to work with Bob or somebody else who's less grumpy.
Yeah,
But,
and keep looking at the magazine too, because we do the FUJI sponsored articles on rod building all winter long.
Yeah.
We just had Mike Garone, who's over here on the booth on the other side. He wrote an excellent article with us.
That name.
Yeah, might be a little familiar. He wrote for us, and we have more to come because we want to get our readers and other anglers into rod building.
Yep,
and with
me
your
too.
help, they can reach out to you and get all the thread and all the other ingredients that they need to make their beautiful rod here.
Awesome.
And we want to get more people into it.
I can't guarantee that everyone who builds a rod will build a rod this beautiful, because this one's really exceptional, especially for a first rod, but that's awesome. Thank you so much for your time. It's great to meet you, and we can't wait to see the next rod you build.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, we'll see you next time.